All right, guys, welcome to episode 3 of Bets in Bed. I'm your host, Matt, joined here today with my co-host, Nick. And let's just say we're coming off of UFC, what was it, 230?
230. Trash.
Yeah, not so hot for either of us. I think we went a combined, what was it?
2-7, I believe. 2-7. Could have been 2-8, but we had a fight scratch, so saving grace.
Yeah, and that 2-7 was just one fight that we both agreed upon. So, not best for your boys here. If you're keeping track at home, that puts me at minus $185 on the season, and Nick is
minus 675. The double unit loss. I got that right? Yeah. Double unit loss killed me last week. So we have decided this week to break out the lucky helmet, carry us through this Denver fight night. We're gonna get back on the board. I like it though. I have a big card this week. Big card for me. Almost double my last couple cards. So
and I think we got all the losers. As any gambler knows, you got to get all the losers out of the way. So we did that last week. Wiped away all the bad juju. We got our lucky helmet to protect us from those bad beats. But first up, Nick, who do you got?
So right off the bricks, I am jumping on the hype train and going Macy Barber at a steep minus 400. Mm-hmm. Not only do I think she's going to win the fight, but I will be adding her to the Baywatch as well. Cute as a button. Minus 400 is way aggressive for somebody with 5 fights coming off of a Dana White Contender Series win. But she's hometown girl. She's getting late replacement opponent who is going to be completely physically overmatched. I'm leading off. I'm going off the deep end real quick. Macy Barber minus 400. Take it to the bank for a W. No prediction on how she's going to win. If I had to guess decision, but I just take her straight up. Get all your options in there.
See, that makes me a little nervous here because usually when we agree on things and we're both on something, it doesn't go so well. And I also have Macy Barber on my list. In fact, she's actually my lucky helmet lock of the week. Exactly for the reasons you said. She. If you looked at her fight in Dana White Contender Series, which you do have to take with a grain of salt, she looked pretty impressive. She had a pretty good all-around game. And I checked out this other girl. Like you said, late replacement. And also, I looked at her last fights. I think each girl was about 35 years old, between 30 and 35 years old, and they all had like 3-6 records. They're absolutely tomato cans. This is Dana White. He sees a star. He's throwing this girl an easy layup fight. Is this on the main
softball down the middle?
Is this on the main card?
I believe she's kicking off the main card.
Yeah, exactly. So it's on the main card. It's an easy win for her, and she's got some pretty good set of skills, and I think, it's crazy.
It's unpolished, but she's athletic.
She's only 20 years old, which is nuts, but I think her story is her family owns an MMA gym, and she's just been training her whole life, so
that checks out.
It adds up, so she looks pretty experienced.
Enjoy that celebratory beer after the win. Just kidding.
We'll dive into my first pick that isn't a lock, but I feel pretty good about it. It's Donald Cerrone versus Mike Perry.
You're jumping that far up the card.
Yeah, no, I didn't see a whole lot that I liked of this card. I only have a few bets here, so you're
gonna meet in between.
Yeah, exactly. But so I really like this fight. I think everyone saw Mike Perry's last fight, and they thought he looked pretty good against Paul Felder. Granted, he did, and Paul Felder did break his hand in the very first round, I think. So he just had to throw elbows the rest of the time.
I believe it might have been the second, but
granted, Paul Felder always does want to throw elbows, anyways. But I think that this is a little bit too much of a skill differentiation between Mike Perry and Donald Cerrone. Yeah, Donald Cerrone's getting a little older. He's going up in the weight class. He's too savvy here. I think plus, he's got, this is somewhat of a grudge match because of Jackson Wink. And I think how everything went down, Cowboy Cerrone's not going to be messing around, and he's going to want to make an example.
Yeah, this actually is my first Denver daily double of the fight card. So, we have Donald Cerrone at plus 175. He is getting mad disrespected at plus 175. We also have Donald Cerrone by submission, dog pick of the week, plus 675.
Oh, shit.
Going yard on that pick because love it. Donald Cerrone, big time master. Don't get me wrong. The only thing that makes me nervous is he always gives the fans a teaser. So regardless of what his game plan actually might be, he's going to give you 3 to 4 minutes of whether it's 3 to 4 minutes of slow start Donald Cerrone or 3 to 4 minutes of I'm going to come out and just start throwing pretty much. He's going to give you a little bit of fan action before he decides to switch gears and go takedown. Very much like I would say, almost like the cowboy versus cowboy fight, where it's like once he took him down, that was the end of the fight.
Yeah.
But until that point, it's kind of like, ooh, why are we standing here? That's the only thing that makes me nervous. However, I agree. As long as Mike Perry doesn't get Donald Cerrone out of there in the first punch, second punch, I think he's going to be just. Mike Perry's just not that good. Like he's super durable, which is why I don't see Donald Cerrone having any shot in hell of knocking him out, and he's going to be way bigger than him. But I don't think Mike Perry's got this crazy speed, power advantage, certainly. But I don't think he's got a crazy speed advantage. He sure as hell did not pick up the ground game that Cerrone has overnight. I definitely think that after a little bit of time on the feet, Cerrone's going to change levels, get a takedown, and Mike Perry's just going to look like an idiot on the ground because it's Mike Perry.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's an idiot on the ground, out of the cage, in the cage, on the mic. He's an idiot.
Yeah, you could have just stopped it at idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot. So that is the first of two Denver daily doubles. So I don't like that we're agreeing on all of these.
Yeah.
That's normally not a good sign for both of us. However, I'm going to retract a little bit. Daily double number 2. Ashley Yoder versus Amanda Bobby Cooper. Ashley Yoder sitting only at -150. Like it, don't love it. What I do love, though, is if she does win, Ashley Yoder by sub +250. Amanda Bobby Cooper, first of all, she has a losing record. So how?
Yeah,
like,
they both do, I think.
Well, Ashley does in the UFC. She's got an overall winning. Amanda Bobby Cooper straight up, including fights outside of the UFC, losing record.
Yeah.
She repping that the Warrior record hard at 3-4. Also, 3 of her 4 losses have been submissions in the first round. Straight up, no ground game whatsoever. I don't know why, for whatever reason in my head, I remember watching all the promos. Amanda Bobby Cooper's boxing, blah, 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 blah. Because Ashley Yoder's got serviceable stand-up. She's not knocking anybody out. She never even looks impressive. She can't even look impressive on the pads, man. I'm watching videos of her open workout. I'm like, you're not hurting anybody. Yeah. Or at least ABC looks. There's some pop in the pads when she hits him. But you look at at her wins. Only 1 knockout. She armbarred the first girl she fought basically at a bar in Michigan, and then a decision win. Those are Amanda Bobby Cooper's only 3 wins. So 3 sub losses. Granted, they're to Mackenzie Dern. Tatiana Suarez is one of them, and I forgot who the other. There's a third.
Even those 2, woof.
Right? Yeah. So those are submission pros, but they subbed her in about 30 seconds. I have a good feeling that Ashley Yoder is going to be good enough. Get this thing to the ground at some point. I'm looking late second, probably early third. There's going to be some fatigue set in. Ashley Yoder by sub. Denver double.
That's very ballsy for you to bet on Yoder. I was thinking about it, but then, no disrespect to Ashley Yoder, but she's just not that good of a fighter.
Neither is Amanda Bobby
Cooper. I know,
Cooper.
But that's the thing. I think she is better a fighter than Amanda Bobby Cooper. Not enough for me to put any money on it, but I guess I can see where you're going with.
That's also probably your hottie matchup of the week for both sides. I mean, don't get me wrong, you just added Macy Barber to the Baywatch, but in terms of both sides coming together, I mean, that's... UFC knows what they're doing. Yeah. They're wetting the palate before the Paige Van Zandt Rachel Olsevich fight.
I'm on to you, Sean Shelby. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right, well, for my next pick, my last pick is going to be... I went back and forth on this one because I do like both these guys. They're both very exciting, being Korean Zombie and Yair Rodriguez. And they're both similar in the sense of their fight history is all over the place, seeing that there's been huge gaps, so it's so hard to judge on them. But after going back and watching some of Yair Rodriguez's past fights before Frankie pretty much destroyed him in his eye, Yair Rodriguez is a serious athlete with some serious fucking kicks. And I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it'll be a very entertaining fight, but if Korean Zombie can't get this to the ground and keep him to the ground, it's gonna be a tough fight to win, and I think
that's the disagreement we're looking at.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. So, and I think with what I've seen of Yair, he's got a pretty decent takedown defense. The only problem was he was going against Frankie Edgar, and that guy could make anyone look piss poor at wrestling. And I just don't know if Korean Zombie is at the grappling level of Frankie. So I'm taking Yair here, and plus I just want to root for the guy. He's so much fun to watch. It's hard to find a more exciting fighter than him to watch because he's so sporadic. So I'm locking it up. Yair Rodriguez for 100, and like I haven't said before, but these are all for $100 a piece, and that's at plus 115. I think a lot of money is coming in on him, which makes me scared, but I'm still sticking with him
because he's gonna lose. You got Korean Zombie at minus 135. 335 would have been crazy. Minus 135, much better bet, guys. There's fights in everybody's career. There's Stipe versus Francis. There's Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos. There's BJ Penn versus Joe Stevenson. Or somebody shell of a man. They never come back. It's over. Frankie Edgar was that to Yair Rodriguez. You can be as athletic as you want. Look at Francis. Doesn't matter. You get the brakes beat off you like that after everyone's sucking your dick for basically your entire UFC tenure. You got to go with polish, man. I mean, I get it. He's got flash. He's got kicks. He's got this. His ground game's not going to surprise Korean Zombie. To be quite honest, I really don't even think his stand-up's going to surprise Korean Zombie all that much. Korean Zombie's fought Leonard Garcia. If there's anybody that's going to just throw wild, stupid shit, it's Leonard Garcia. So I just now, it is tough because Korean Zombie's fought for like 4 minutes in 4 years pretty much. But I think that Korean Zombie is just going to look better. Like, he's just in all phases of the game. Like, you're going to see some flashy kicks, you always do, from Yair, and it'll look cool, and the fans will ooh and ah. But at the end of the day, the takeaway from this fight is going to be like, that guy's just better. And that guy also doesn't look anything like he did when we were on the hype train. I got Korean Zombie taking that one home.
No, man, I'm a sucker for the fancy new car, and he's young.
You're like one of those guys that buys a Fisker and then just complains when it lights itself on fire.
Well, just Korean Zombie. I know he finished. Who did he just fight?
Bermudez.
But he was getting pieced up on the feet there for a hot minute. Did not look great until he dropped him. Yeah, until he dropped him. It's been a long time. I'm feeling Yair here. So our first head to head. So these are the ones I live for. Incorrect. The ones I can rub it in.
Everyone's waiting on bated breath. What's your lock of the week? It'll never, in any capacity, be a KO in any light year, fucking eternity, this decade. Lock of the week, again, going deep on another over. I gotta get out of these overs, though. That does make me nervous, because I've been locking up all the overs. But when I looked at this, even at minus 290, I could not get away from the over in Jermaine Durandamy versus Raquel Pennington. That fight has decision written all over it.
Is it 2.5 rounds?
2.5 rounds. Doesn't matter.
290?
Minus 290, doesn't matter. That fight had... Jermaine Durandamy's finished a bunch of cans at 135, like whoever that she finished.
I'm just kidding.
Raquel Pennington didn't finish her.
I know.
And didn't even come close to finishing her. No. Unless you count the punches after the bell. Yeah. And so, unless you're allowing sucker punches, Raquel Pennington, pretty much the only person that's put her away recently is Amanda Nunes, who's put literally everyone away recently. And so, I just don't see. And also, these two, the pace that they fight at, I can't even see the pace of this fight getting past the slow crawl. Like, I think this is going to be just 1 and 2 strike combos for the duration of the fight. Probably a lot of fence clinching. I just think that this is going to be a slow drag of a 15 minutes. I guess their enemy's probably going to win, just on the account of she's probably got crisper stand-up, but it doesn't matter to me because I don't see a way that this gets taken care of in 12 and a half minutes of action.
I made it a point not to bet this fight because I did not want to care at all for this fight. I don't want to have to watch this. This is when you go re-up on snacks, maybe go squeeze out a nice little dookie.
I will. I 100% plan on it because I'm that confident that this fight is going to be that boring and that slow all the way to the final bell.
Yeah, this is the fight where you're just checking Twitter and then maybe you'll check the score rather than actually look up to see who won the fight.
Yeah, right. John Anik's gonna scream once and you're just gonna get a jolt out of your seat only to realize someone separated from the clinch. So that's my lock of the week, and that's all I got though. That's a 7-bet card right there.
Wow. We're all over the place. It would have
been more too had we had Joseph Benavidez on here.
Yeah, that would have been my lock, but Ray Borg, I'm not going to say anything bad about you. You seem like you're going through some shit, but you really fucked me on that one, man.
I'm not going to say anything bad about you, but fuck you.
Yeah. Well, I got to get my long shot of the week. So my long shot of the week, I was going to pick the other way on it for just a regular pick, decided against it, but it's going to be Beneil Dariush versus Thiago Moises. This Moises guy, he's a guy from a Dana White Contender Series, Brazil.
What's the line on that?
Well, I'm going by TKO
Oh,
plus 465 because
okay, fair enough.
this guy, he's just an athlete from Brazil, trains at American Top Team, and he's just trying to throw haymakers. Beneil's taken a lot of damage in his last few fights here, been stopped a few times. I know he's still pretty young, but if...
He has been stopped, like, in fights that he was cruising to wins in.
Yeah.
Which sucks. He's got a little bit of Chris Weidman syndrome.
Yeah, so I think he gets a little too cocky with his striking. I know he's been cleaning up a little bit, but then he ends up... The Evan Dunham fight was just... I don't know how he lost that one. Or
There's been a couple.
drawed. But I think the regular line is minus 145
That's what I
Dariush,
thought.
and I saw the line and I thought, oh, they're finally giving Beneil a reasonable fight, and then I saw the guy and I'm like, they're just giving an athlete against him to see like, oh, well, maybe this guy knocks him out too.
Have you changed your ways yet? It's basically like a gut check.
Yeah.
Kind of like, are you gonna figure this shit out, man, or what?
Yeah. So that's an unofficial pick, so I don't feel that confident on it, but if I see someone pulling off an upset, it'd be him by TKO. Put it in the books.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got. I'm gonna rub off the lucky helmet one more time, and then
Yeah. God
I
damn
think
it.
we're good to go.
If I'd rather this lucky helmet
This is 7 winners.
I'd rather this lucky helmet perform this weekend than save my life in a car accident. That is the honest truth.
Fair enough.
So
Go
that
out on top.
other than that, I think just follow us along on Below the Belt MMA on Twitter. We'll be hopefully live tweeting it. We might be at Jiu-Jitsu camp with Craig Jones. Ever heard of him? But then other than that,
sleeping. It's a Sunday morning after a Saturday night out.
yeah, don't we have it's open mat that day?
Dude, sleeping in. Get the fuck out of here. Going out till 5 and then getting up at 10. Blow me.
All right, well, follow us along. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week.